Hi, welcome back, everyone. We welcome back to the Beginner Python Study Group session number 3. In case this is the first time you join the study group, welcome. We want to share more about Python knowledge throughout the series. So if you're interested, if you missed the first 2 sessions, feel free to go to the recordings on the WWCode YouTube channel. And if you want to attend the future session, we have this session every other 2 weeks. So feel free to join us. So we will just reintroduce ourselves. So my name is Karen. I'm the presenter today. And Rishika.
Hi, I'm Rishika. I have also been working on this series alongside my wonderful team, and I'm a lead for the Women Who Code Python track.
Thank you. And Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm an evangelist here at Women Who Code Python, and I'm a co-organizer of this very excellent group. Thank you so much for being today.
All right, so I'm going to do some brief introduction to Women Who Code, as usual. So Women Who Code, our mission is to inspire women to excel in technology careers, which means our vision is we wanted to have a world where women are represented as technical executives, venture capital, board members, and software engineers. And also, therefore, our target is to have engineers with two or more years of experience looking for support and resources to strengthen their influence and to level up in their careers as well. We do take our code of conduct very seriously. Women Who Code, we do not tolerate any harassment of any members in any form. So if you want to ensure we are all studying in the same nice environment. So if you want to check it out, feel free to go to the website and check it out. So about a bit of the statistics of Women Who Code, we currently have 23,000 members. Am I getting the word? Sorry. Over 23,000 members with over in 20 countries, and we host 100. Around 125 daily conference tickets. We offer over 2 million scholarships to with partners, and we also provide some job resources and studying material at the website as well. So our movement, as the world changes, we can be a connecting force that creates a sense of belonging while the world is being asked to isolate. So let's get back to today's agenda. So we're gonna do a very quick recap of section 2, and then we're gonna talk about data types. We're gonna talk about numeric data types, particularly integer and float, and then also a sequence data type, which is string, list, and tuple. And then we'll do a little bit of wrap up. So yes, last 2 weeks ago, I introduced about Python library, how to install it, and how to make use of it. Everyone was having fun, especially with the installing with local environments. So if you want to recap it, feel free to access the recording and the code posted on the GitHub as well. So I'm gonna do a little bit of theory before we start practicing the code. So data types. So we have so variable can be stored in different types, and like different types of data can do different things. They have a meaning of it. So for the data types, either like it usually is a classification or categorization of an item or specific item. So Python is actually Python is an object-oriented programming. So everything is an object in Python programming language, which means data type are actually classes, and variable, for instance, like one of those to belong of one of those classes. So we have 5 different data types, 5 main category of data types, and we'll be going over 5 of them today. So as I introduced there we will be talking about numeric data type, which is numbers, like in another sense. So numeric data types represent the data which has the numeric value. It could be integer, it could be floating number, or it could be complex numbers, which is defined as integer, float, and complex classes. If you're not too familiar of like which is what, like what is integer, what is floating number, we'll be going over it in our daily life. It might not mix. It might be a small thing for you guys. It will be small thing for us, but like in computer, a clear definition makes a lot of difference on these type of numbers that some of us might hate, some of us might love. So integer. So integer is represented by int class, and we will be doing it more. We're doing more of the collab exercise. So it can contain positive and or negative whole numbers without fraction or decimal. So no decimal, like no dots, no 15.6, 15.5. It has to be exact, the absolute number. So, but then there's no limit on how long the integer can be. It could be 6 digits, it could be 15 digits, it could be like 50 digits if you want an infinite number. So float, on the other hand, contains a decimal point. That's a clear definition between float and integer. So float, when you wanna get a calculation very accurate, you will usually use float because it try to contain as the whole number as possible. So for example, you want to represent the number pi. It's usually 3.14. If you make it 3, it might not make it. If you want to represent it as an integer, it might not make a difference. But if you put it in the calculation, the whole number makes a lot. It could make a lot of difference in the formula. So it's a real number with floating point, and optionally the character E, a capital letter E or small letter E is followed by a positive or negative integer as well. Okay, so now we finish with the numeric type. We got the topic of sequence. Sequence is something. It could be word, or it could be alphabet, or it could be integer related. So in Python, sequence is the ordered collection of something similar or different data types. It allows to store multiple values in an organized and efficient fashion. And it also, like, there are several sequence types of Python. As I mentioned before, each of them has a specific useful function of it. So today we'll be introducing string, list, and tuple. So string is the most often class that we see with data type we see. So strings that arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters. It's also a collection of one or more characters to put in a one single quote, double quote, or triple quote. So in Python, there's no such thing called character data type where like other language such as SQL will have. So a character is just a string of length 1, and then it represented by the str class, and we'll go over during the collab notebook. So if you see the example, it might sound a little, like middle theoretical, but it's literally just like example here, like, hi, my name is Rishika, and my name is Rishika, and like this string is this is a string in Python. So it sounds simple. Just remember, a string you need to put a quote. It doesn't matter if it's like single, double, or triple quote. You just need to put a quote and the string, which yeah, it might confuse a lot of people later if you're not being careful with it. So a list. So a list is just like the arrays declare in another language, which is also an ordered collection of data. Is actually very flexible as like the item in the list do not need to be in the same type. So it could be integer, it could be float, it could be a list. A single list would contain data types like integers, strings, as well as objects. And objects is like something it's not it's like a type, but then it's not really you won't really see it. It's like something computer would understand, but like we just have to be patient to let him computer with it. We'll go over it later. And then list is mutable, and hence like they can be altered even after the creation, because some particular lists, some particular type, it could not be edited after you input like you create that sequence. So list is very simple. So just remember, have a bracket quote. Python, Java, like it's separated by comma. And remember, if you want to put string, again, you have to put a double quote on it. Okay, and then so I'm gonna do, so I have, so Python data type has like these three, has these six, we're going to go through these six, sorry. So Python like have like mutable and immutable and mutable data type. So and then like the immutable data type is the normal, is the one that we go over, number, strings, and tuples. And then list it would be immutable data type would be like list, dictionary, and sets. We will go over some of them. We will go over list, dictionary, and sets like on the next part of the section. Okay. Okay, question time. Anyone has any questions so far on the theory? Everyone's good? Awesome. We'll go over it, don't worry. So, okay, let's do, we have enough with theories. So we'll go over the live coding. So let's, in case this is the first time you're going like coming here, we will teach you how to get the Colab notebook from the GitHub, directly from the GitHub repo. So Stephanie already posted the GitHub link on the chat. So if you want to access it, feel free to do so. So in the GitHub notebook, in the GitHub repo, if you scroll down, and you will see the beginner Python study group. So if you want to click on it, and it will bring you to our repo where all the materials are gathered. And so since today is session 3, data types, and all you have to do is just click access Colab notebook, and it would directly bring you to the exercise itself. One thing though, remember, because this is our notebook, actually this is Rishika's notebook, so you have, in order to type it, to do exercise yourself, you have to go to a file and save copy at your own drive in order to edit the notebook. Any questions so far? Okay, I saw Juliana's question. Hi, Juliana. So Juliana's question is like, you don't understand the mutable data type. Rishika, would you mind going over a brief introduction on the immutable and mutable data type?
Yeah, so that's kind of the main distinction between a tuple and a list. So tuples actually cannot be changed in any way after they've been declared and created, but lists can be. And so each of those kind of have their different, I guess, applications where you'd want to use one versus the other. Generally, lists are more commonly used than tuples. So just essentially immutable means that it cannot be changed. If you think of like a mutation changing, so immutable means that it cannot be changed. So whatever data has already been stored into that tuple cannot be changed. Typically what you can do with the list is like, say we declare a list with a few values inside, as Karen will show a little bit later in this notebook. You can actually remove, a certain number from it or add another number to it. But with a tuple, you can't do anything. Once you have declared it and you've put in a set number of data, objects in there, you can't remove or add anything. Yeah, so hopefully that kind of clears it up.
Thank you, Rishika. Okay, everyone's good. Okay, so did everyone get a chance? Awesome. Juliana got it. Yay! So is everyone okay with the notebook? Just want to make sure. Okay, awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's dive this deep dig into the exercise. Let's do some coding here. Okay, so we're gonna practice integer first. Let's start with something, easy peasy. Okay, so so if you do it here, so the first one, what is the type? What type is the number 10? So to number 10, oh, I can actually do it here. So to find out what is the type of number 10, you can do type and then type 10. 10. Oops. So you have to press like after you press. Ah. Okay, sorry. And then give time a bit to load. It's just like sometimes slow. Okay, there we go. Integer. So it basically tells us like the type of 10. Type is a very helpful function to figure out like what type is things. So what types are what type are the number or the inputs that we are doing. So type 10 so is integer, which is expected. So what about the number 999999999? Okay, did I quickly did too much? Sorry. So all we have to do is to copy and paste 99999 and then find out. It should be an integer as well. So now let's try to create a variable and assign it as a value and then find out and then you can find out a type here as well. So let's do A equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone got it? And then to find out what A represents, and on Colab, on Jupyter Notebook or like Google Colab, you just have to type A. But then on a regular Python IDE, on a regular Python environment, you have to do print A. Otherwise, nothing will show up. So just it's not better, but like such a tips and tricks here. So if you type A, if you want to know the type, just to confirm, even though you know it with closing your eyes, we can find out type integer. Okay, so now we will repeat the variable B with 20, value 20. So B equals to 20. And then find it out as expected. Oh, because I didn't type a B there. And it will show as 20. And of course, if you want to do the type, and then the integer. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do a couple more to get used to the variable. So we're gonna do a negative type here to this time, and then C. So C equals to minus 700, and then you type C, and they show you 700. You should expect something. I know it sounds very simple right now and very straightforward, but like when it comes to you wanted to, you have to combine a list with, let's say, an integer or integer and a string, and then you only have a long list. This matters. This does matters. Okay. Everything is good. So I saw and Maury asked that you don't have to declare the variable as an integer. That's a very good question, actually. In Python, we don't have to. The reason is because it is a very high level performing language. It's actually a very high level language, which means there's a lot of things it's already automatically set. I know in certain languages like C or C or C++, you have to declare something. You have to declare the type of the variable first. But then which is why I emphasize the importance of the string and the integers. But you have to put a string, you have to put the code to represent a string instead of like declaring itself. So that's the one thing I do like about Python. It's very convenient because it's very the structure is actually really good to the point you don't have to like really put the extract to declare on it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so we would like to find out the type of each of these variables. Oh, already done it. Let's just kill it. So type A, type B, and type C. Everyone good so far? Easy peasy? Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys are killing it. Good, okay. Okay, so now we finish with the easy peasy integer. Let's go to the floating point. Because it's the same, the format is very similar. It might be just one line of code, but like I think the more practice, we more get used to it, and then it's more, you'll be more comfortable when it comes to like more complicated matters. So let's do this. Okay, what is the type of 10.0? Let's do it. 10.0, and as expected, it's the float because we human brain is just knows and don't need to process anything. Okay, so and then what about the type 9999999.00? And all you have to do is to copy and paste because I'm a typo person, so I might be making a mess here. Okay, so it's the flow as expected. Okay, what about 12345.0? Oh, that one I can type 12345.0. And you will see it's the flow. So you're getting all the flows here. If you don't, let us know. We can try to figure out maybe something that it will happen to other ladies as well. It happens to me before. So if you don't get the flow, if you don't get the flow as your output, let us know. And you're not the only one. Trust me. So yeah, feel free to raise your hands and let us know. Okay, so we're gonna create 4 more variables. Okay, so let's do this. So we're gonna do D, E, F, G, and the rest of the columns, rest of the code section. So okay, let's do D equals to 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.0, and we have to run it, and then we have to type D, and then you run it, you should get what is expected. And then you do E equals to 20.000, and then you type E, and then you should run it, and then you should get the exact same value. And let's do this again. You type minus 700.0, oops, on 0, and then F. And then you will get negative 700. And then type G, And then, ooh, what is this? Let's try something. Let's see. Let's put something that we're not too familiar with and see what it is. And it shows 7e minus 5. And then, okay, so after we type DEFG, we would like to find out the type of the variables. Let's do this. I know you guys probably passed me over this point. See, Python is not hard at all. So you guys just have to keep doing it. The hardest part is sometimes when things goes wrong, computer not listening, you have to have the patience to debug it, to convert it, you know, to make things work. That's the hard part. So Python itself is not hard. I don't find it hard. You guys won't find it hard as well. See you guys killing it. It's just the patience and also it's just the patience and the determination of like how to get it work. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, I will slow down. Okay, so so meanwhile you guys are typing, I'm going through so I'm going to go back to the floating point part. So first we have to figure out the type of 7.10.0 here, and then you have to figure out the type of this integer, this number, and then the third you have to do type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.0. And then instead of like doing the type, we declare it. We want to declare things as variable. So we want to put it as in a variable form. So like you put a D here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then E through 20, and then 7, and then minus 7, and then this is the same as well. And then you have to figure out the type of DEFG. So I'll let some of you catch up. Meanwhile, I'm gonna explain what is variable in case you're still a little bit confused or like this is the first time. A variable in my nonsense is basically a magic spell. So basically you have for example, you have a letter, like just think of it, you have a letter you want to write, and sometimes you want to pull out that letter from the drawer. So all you have to do is to grab that piece of paper, and then you can read the letter. So that grabbing the piece of paper moment is the variable. So it kind of like collects like a bunch of information for you, so you don't have to type it again. And then when you call it, just like for example, like here, minus like negative 700, you call it as F, so you don't have to type 700 again. So you just have to type F. So for example, like in the so in this like 99999, right? So sometimes you don't want to type it again. You definitely don't want to type it again. Actually, I didn't even type it in the first place. You just have to declare a variable to represent the input or the value itself. Okay, any questions so far, girls? Okay, ever good? Everything is good? You guys are awesome. Okay, let's do this. So now we are okay with the number. Now we're done with the numbers. Let's go to the sequence, which is more something we're more familiar with and less hate. If you hate math, hating math is just okay. It's okay here. So let's do strength. We're more familiar with. Okay, let's do exercise. So create a strength with single quote or strength 1. So let's do string 1 equals to, let's put some value. I think we can do something like this. Let's do something like this. So, okay, string 1 equals to string. And so if you want to do string, if you want to know what string one means, you just have to place it. Everyone got it? Awesome. Okay, so the difference, so I do want to bring up something here. So if you see the string, if you see you type string one, I use a capital letter here. So I'm using a capital letter here as a variable. So if I type it, if I forget and then I type it as a small variable, as a small letter starting with S, and then if you show up, it will be nothing because string one is not defined. Often we see a lot, we find a lot, we find very confused, like why the heck is the computer doesn't remember what I put the spell, the magic spell is. Majority of the time is because we put a capital letter there and then we forgot like it's or vice versa. So just be careful of when you declare a variable, is everything is sensitive, like even a space, or you can put a space, but like a case is very case sensitive, so just be mindful of that when you created it. It could cause a lot of problem. It caused a lot of problem for me a lot of times, so just be mindful there. All right, okay, let's do this. Let's do the thing one. Okay, let's do a double quote here called string two, right? Okay, so let's do this. So string two equals to let's do double quote, and I'm drinking an ice cap, so I'm gonna put an ice cap here. Okay, so and then you type, sorry, I forgot. Okay, so if you type string with a string two with a capital letter, and it should show up a ice cap. Yes. And then sometimes we can do some trick here. So sometimes if you wanna, you know, if you wanna like make sure, one of the girl was asking a question about you don't have to declare it. So Python, you don't have to declare whether that variable is an integer or string, but then you can still declare it if you want it to be particular. So the way to declare the variable which data type it is specifically, all you have to do is do str and then type. It's not gonna change anything, but when it comes to numbers, it matters because with alphabets, like you have to is majority of the time is a string. But when it's like a number, if you want to make a string or integer, this is the way to change. Is just a way to change it. Okay, and then we're gonna do next one. Okay, let's create a string with triple quote called string three. Okay, let's do this. String three with capital letter, girls, capital letter, and then let me think of what I want to eat for lunch. Okay. Oh, sorry, triple quote. So triple quote. So noodles. I want to eat 1, 2, 3, and then if you type string three, and it's the noodles. So in case now that you try it, let's do the next one first. So create a triple quote allows like multiple lines called string four. So how do you do it is string four, and then do it, and then this is raining today, and then type string four. And then they'll show you it's raining today. /n is actually a way the computer tells himself, oh, this is a new line. So you can see like it transformed it as like exactly as it is. So new line, go to the new line and then type this, it's ringing today, and then in another new line and then finish it. So this is what happens. So just so right now for Python, triple quote, single, double, and triple quote does not matter in terms of string. They all referring to a type of string. But then on other, just be careful if you go to another, this is your first language and you want to do, and you want to practice another programming language, it matters a lot. So you just have to be careful here. But with Python, you save, you know, everything is done for you. So you just have to type it. And also this string for, I often use it as a comment. So for example, when I write a script, I usually put like the first couple lines, I usually put like what I want to do here or what are the progress here. So I use it as like a note. So like because like honestly, because when you type like when you put like a triple quote in between, you can put as many lines as you want. Karen is sleepy and Karen is having breakfast, like something like that. So it's a good, I would recommend to use it as a kind of like a side note, like a memo for yourself on the script to clarify what are you doing today and what is your goal, and then what are you struggle on. This is my way of doing it. I mean, it's different to everyone, so you can just take it as a reference. Okay, let's access an element of a string. Let's do variable here, I think. Okay, print out the initial string and we choose string 4. Okay, print out, so print string 4 and then type. And it is running today. So remember print and this, the difference between here and here is like print is actually telling you have to print the variable for me. And here you're basically telling what your input is. So it usually works like, again, it usually works on Colab or Jupyter Notebook. It might not work on a regular IDE like Spider or like other like IDE, Python IDE. So I want to bring it up something else here. I just saw it. So you see here, like the computer basically tell me, oh, this is like you enter a new line, it's running today, and you enter a new line. If I type just like purely string 4 with a capital S. But then when you print here, it doesn't show you the new line at all because it's being redecorated. It doesn't show you any weird structure like N and stuff. It basically basically kind of like modify it and bring you what you want to see, because this is exactly what we want to see, not this one, right? So this is the main difference between print and just to call the variable. And then we're gonna print the first letter of string 4. Okay, so all you have to do is, it might be a little tricky. String 4, let me try. And then you type first letter. Ah. Oh, I know why. Sorry. Okay. Just type this first, and I will explain a little bit later. Is everyone following so far? Good so far? If you want to go back, like if you're missing any notes, like feel free, like oh, Karen, can you bring back to the beginning of the sequence or anything, like let me know. I will go back. Everyone good? Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to explain a little bit more here. So in order to find out the first character, all you have to do is to type. Let me print out the string for again. Actually, it's raining here. Oh, sorry. Okay, one thing here, if you want to use apostrophe inside a string, you have to type, because it's a quote, so the computer don't, if you put like, you have to use a double quote on like when you want to put apostrophe there. Otherwise, like the computer got confused and only read like it and instead of the whole string, and then you get an error and you're not happy about it. Okay, so let's redo the string for. So string for equals to is raining here. I'm gonna do it without the line. So string for. So to do that, you have to type the first. You have to put string for and then square brackets and then 0. Why 0? Because everything in computer starts with 0. I know we always start with 1. The first thing is like always 1. But in computer world, everything starts with 0. So just be a little bit mindful of that, because like sometimes we it's very natural for us to just put the 1, and if you put 1, you'll get the second letter, which is a T. So if you want it, so you have to put 0 here to get your first letter. And then, is everyone okay with that? Everyone good here? Awesome. So if I want to call the last character of the string for, which is here, it should memorize it. So all I have to do is to put. So this time we don't want to I'm too lazy. I don't want to count how many letters are there. So a trick to do that is to put a -1. -1 brings you the last letter of there. So eventually a -2 brings you to second last there. So if you have a long list, like very, very, very long list, this like is the best way to find out what's the last value and what's the first value. This is a really, really good, really useful way to find out things too, like kind of make you convenient to know, like to grab the, like to put like, grab you to quickly put out what is the last one on the list, what is the first one on the list. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions here to just catch up. So print, so Rana asking print string for. So just remember, print string for is you have to put a bracket there. So it's bracket print, small letters, print, and then the string. So this is a style where Python 3, one of you was asking a question, what's the difference between Python 3 and Python 2? This is one of them. So when you do print, the function, print is a function. You have to put a bracket there to indicate like, I want to use this function, and this is just like the string for is the string, I want to like call the string for, the variable string for. So is everyone okay? Ooh, yes, awesome. Wow, you guys learn faster than me. I struggled this when I first started. Okay, let's go through lists. Let's go through some lists. Okay. Okay, so we learn how to do strings, and we learn how to do integers. We learn the integer flows and string, and then now we put them together. Okay, first we create an empty list, call it list. So a list equals to list. That's how you do it. It should show up nothing because, if you want to see something, you can check out the type of list of this. Here, I do want to bring it up again. Sorry, I know I'm annoying. So I use the capital L as the list, as like as a variable here. And I use, and because list with a small l is a function here. It's just like how we type, just like how str is a function to declare this is a string, and a function like same as integer. So if you put int here, it declares as an integer. Oops, shows up nothing. My bad. Sorry. So when you declare a function, you have to put a bracket. I stopped myself in the face. So you have to put a bracket there. So integer bracket. And then if you want a string, and if you type list, you have to put string. And then if you want to do lists, with you have to do a small l. So when you guys try to do declare variable, just be a little bit careful here. Like words such as list, string, str, and int is a predefined variable. So you have to be careful not to cover over them, because they are actually a function. Okay, so we create an empty list already. And if you type print list, it should show up something. And it should have a square bracket, which indicate it's square bracket. It's empty, which is the empty list inside. Okay, so next we're gonna create a list of use of string. So we're gonna do some string womanhood code. So we're gonna do. We can do something like called WWC. You can create whatever variable you want. So we're just gonna do like WWC here, and then we put women, and then we put single bracket women who code here, and then you print WC, and then it should show up exactly what you type there. And then next we'll create a list of use of multiple values. So we're gonna separate things. We're gonna separate women who code Python. So all you have to do is and then get the first and third value of this. So let's do the first part first. So we use the variable WWC. So all you have to do is to do this women who code Python. So it's a little bit of effort there. Remember to put, it doesn't matter if you put a space in between. Yes, you have to put a comma in between, and yes, you have to code everything. So try to get this, and then let's first print out the WWC first, like see the list. So return the exact same thing as expected. So we want to find out the first and third value of list. So remember, everything starts with 0 in computer world. So if you want to have the first value, you have to type 0, and then it's women. And then it should show up women, and then you have to type WWC2, which is the third value, and to show up code. Of course, if you're lazy, you want to put is the best. Just be careful of the typo here. The longer the list, the easier that you make a little mistake, and which could drive you crazy. So if you want to find out, I just want to get the best. You can do this. WC best. And then, okay, so hopefully everyone is okay here. So lastly, we're going to create a multi-dimensional list by nesting a list inside a list. So we're going to do women who code. So the list will contain women who woman, comma, code, woman who, sorry, woman, comma, who, comma, code. And then in the outer list, we're gonna do a nest list. So how do we do it? So first of all, don't worry, we're gonna create, I'm gonna use the same variable. So we're gonna do women who code. Oh, and then print the list. Everyone got it so far? Everyone good? And all and then like we're gonna put a list, we're gonna do a multi-dimensional list. So what we're gonna do is women, so we have to wait to, we have multiple ways to do this. So one way to do it is like WWCP, let's see, let's like declare another variable. So we're gonna put the list. We're gonna create the list, like either square, you can use this style, or you can use the square bracket. It's the same, it works the same way. So you can do WWC and then you put another list here, Python. So that's called nest list. So that's how it works. So type WWC, and women to code Python. So at this point, you ask, why do I have to put a nest list? It's in a way, you know, in our human eyes, all it does is like nothing but trouble. It brings you like, you know, oh, why I have to do this? Why can't I put it together? It's actually very useful when it comes to computing formula, like you know, numbers, especially matrix. If you're into machine learning or statistics, actually anyway you have to use Python for. So matrix is one of the very common way to use the computer use square bracket like the nest list to represent a value because it's multi-dimensional. So in this case, WWC is one dimensional, we all familiar and love. And then WWCP is two-dimensional because there are two, there's two brackets inside a list. There's two lists inside a list. Okay. So everyone clear here? Do I have to explain the nest list a little bit more? Let me know in the Q&A. Oh, let me go to the Q&A. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so is there any, so Elise is asking, like, is there any difference between doing lists? You mean, so, okay, so might not catch your question entirely, but list at like capital letter L with IST is a variable, and list and with a small l is a function. So so you can, like, if you get confused, you don't have to use LIST bracket. You can use the square bracket, and it is essentially like representing the same thing. Okay, so sorry, if I said, can we only call WC of writing print? Yes, you can call WWC instead of writing prints, because you are when, like I mentioned before, if you call it WWC here, you will show up here. You will show up something like this. Oh, sorry. Let me comment this. So if you WWC here, you will see women who code, right? So you print, like, you see the exact same thing. Essentially, it is the exact same thing. The difference is you will see the same thing if you, but then like I mentioned before, like with the Tuple code, when you type string 4, when you type the variable, just list the variable, just type print, just like type the variable, it will show you how the computers process the whole thing, how to process like this comment. But when you do print, it makes it pretty, and like it doesn't show you, because it's basically telling, there's basically a better way of telling computer, you know, I don't think I don't need to see this end, you know, I don't need to see a new line, like I don't need it. So I just want a pretty value, like it's raining here, it's raining today, something like that. So that's the difference between it. But like, of course, now you can use you can either type it just WWC or the print. Okay, so Ram was asking, nest can be done only string data type. No, that's exactly what I meant. So, okay, in case you guys not familiar with matrix, matrix is not the black background with like some green light. Is a multi-dimensional. Let's actually go through this. What does a matrix look like? I think it's important to dive in deep into it. What does matrix look like in Python? So you see here, this is a to us, to a newbie, to, you know, if you're new to programming language, this is disaster to you. You don't want to see this. You want to close your computer screen. But if you want to dig deep into it, it's not as scary. So it's basically a matrix is a way to represent a multi-dimensional value. You know, we have one-dimensional value, like 1 and x and y. If you from a science background, like x-axis and y-axis, if you put a value there, there's 2 dimensions. So x is 1 axis and y is 1 axis. For 3, if you put a z value z, like that's the 3, and then that's the 3 dimensional value. So like, so x, y, z represent each function. It represent each dimension. So how do you represent it on the computer? A way that both you and me understand is to do a nested list. So the nested list is very often to use it on integer, in fact, not so much on string from what I've seen. It's because when it comes to like calculations, formulas and stuff, like it's very, very common to use matrix. So hopefully answer the question. And then Erica asked the same thing, asked the same about nested list. So it's like the use is just to represent a 3D, like a 3D person. Like they just think of it this way. Instead of a paper, which is women who code, we can do a 3D size of women who code. That's how it works. So it's very easy for us to understand in 3D way, because, you know, human brain is very, very, very smart to understand, you know, oh, this is a 3D thing, this is a 3D object, this is a 1D like sheet of paper. But then like in computer, you know, it takes time for that. We need to do some instructions, and we have like brilliant mathematicians and scientists like make a way for computer to understand what is the 3D dimension. So basically, nest list is one of the best way to represent a 3D dimension on a computer. Like that's it. Basically, the simplest way to eat a lessness is. Okay, Eliza is asking. Sorry if I pronounce anything wrong. Eliza, how do we get to print without the brackets? Sorry, how do we get it to print without the brackets? So if you want to do the print, you mean like this? I'm not sure I understand the question. So let me rephrase it, the bracket first. So the bracket is the print bracket. So when you call a function, you have to do print. You have to do the magic word, like, which is also a variable in a way, and then do bracket. So that's how we call the print function. So remember, if you're on the second section of, let me try this. So if you in the second section, explain a little bit about help function to poke around different functions in the library. We use help function, so we can understand them. So basically, like the print function. Oh, sorry, it's not my bad. So basically, print function is like it's a function to make things like prettier and like the way that we understand and the computer understands. Because sometimes when we just type without print, we type up just WWC. If you type something like complicated, it it might not be able to read it like very quickly, and you take some time to process it. The function print is the print with the bracket to call a function to make things pretty. Like this. Anyone still a little bit confused about it? Please let me know. Okay, Elise is mentioning there's a difference between single and double quote lists. Oh, are you explaining? Yes, like also if you guys go into the Q&A, Elise is bringing a very good example. Another way, like I mentioned, apostrophe is because it is it's a dot, so it is a quote to computer. So if you want to distinguish between apostrophe and what is a quote and what is apostrophe for computer, two ways to do it. Either you put a double quote, and another way is to put a forward slash, like how Elise does it. So I'm gonna bring it up here because I think it's important for people to know as well. Okay, let's do this here. So if you want to do, let's see, it's raining today. So you can do basically, essentially, string 4 equals to is raining here. So basically, these two are essentially the same thing. Sorry. So forward slash, it's like so basically a escape function that like tells the computer, oh hey, ignore about this. Like this is not a quote. This is this is something like we human wanna like it's just a value there. It's not. It doesn't mean anything. So that's basically about it. So good question. Good clarification, Elise. Good job. Okay. Okay, so Rama is asking what's the best method to remember square brackets versus curly brackets. So curly brackets is, so this is like square brackets, this is curly brackets. We will go into that. When we go into dictionary and tuple, and you will see curly brackets, and then you will see more. I think I'll wait for it to explain a little bit more. So right now, just remember, string is the square brackets. Usually, in my personal opinion, square brackets is something you want to use because curly brackets is a more complicated way to store variables because it has the key on it. It has an index on it. So square brackets, if you want to do a simple list, you want to do something simple, use the square bracket. Like that's my little advice for now. I'll go deep into it. Maybe in like the session or the next section. Okay, let's go back to here, guys. Okay, let's do this. Like now we would like to access element of the list. Okay, so we're gonna get into, so the list will contain the same, we wanna do, oh, I think we did everything already. Sorry. Okay, so if you wanna get women who code, you just type here, you wanna do women who code P, you can type here, and then you guys are lazy thinking, you know, print is too troublesome, then you can just do here on Jupyter Notebook. Yes. And then now we'll print the first and the third value of above list, and and then we will do it by index number. So index number is basically what we've done in the previous exercise. So let's do woman who code. Okay, let's do woman who code first. Okay, so instead of declaring a variable, you can actually just directly do it like here. So this is the first one. Remember, 0 is everything. 0 starts with everything starts with 0 in computer world, and then everything. And then the third one is the second one, like this. And if you want to try WWP, I'll show you something. So remember, WWCP is a nested list where everyone's like, oh, confusing. So if you type WWCP and then the first value, you will see the whole women who code, which is the first list. And then if you want to bring up Python, you can do Python. And then if you want to bring up the second value of the nested list is Python instead of just a P, right? Instead of just like women who code or Python. Well, essentially it's the same thing. I mean, it's like you have the same result no matter what, but with or without a nestedness on the last value. But then you will see here. It brings you, the first element brings you everything together, brings everything like up together. So another way to access an element is by using a negative index. So, we already done this as well. Let's do this. Okay, so I want to print Python here, and I am being lazy and just do here and minus here. Essentially because there are only two nested, in the nested list, only two elements there. So like 1 or -1 doesn't really matter. But like I just post, I think it's a good practice for you guys to get familiar with the position of each element. So how to bring it up, especially the first one and the last one. Ooh, any other questions? Sorry, I'm one over time again, guys. Okay, sorry, is it Junet? Some of you asked how to access an element in the list. I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrect. So basically, this is the way to. I might not be able to see the question. I couldn't see the question when I was typing. Hopefully, this answers your question. So basically, I'm going to repeat again. Okay, so a nest list, you do the exact same thing. You do 1, 0 means the first element, 1 means the second element, and so on and so on. The only difference is the output. So the output, instead of bringing just the women, the word just women, it brings you women who code because it's less than this. So if you do WWC 0, and you will get women versus women who code. That's the nestedness. That's the function of nestedness. Like I said, it's a little, it might not be necessary in terms of just reading the output. Like I don't need that woman who call. I just need the first word. That's why it's not really as common to use it on string. But we just want you guys to understand the list, like nested list, a little bit better. So that's why we with something more familiar, we put like alphabet instead of like just like numbers there to make you guys understand the concept of it. Okay, Alyssa bring it up that the result had the square bracket because this is the first element. So it shows you it's a list. So remember the square bracket? So because like because in the nest list, it showed you different values. Like human is like the first value. So women who co list is the first value, and then for Python is the second value. It doesn't really it doesn't really digest you as it doesn't really help you to digest it. Oh, this is this is just a strength. It digests it as the list. So it's basically you ask for an egg sandwich, it gives you an egg sandwich. It doesn't give you egg sandwich with toast. So this is a way to understand how this works. Okay, let's go into the tuple. Let's try to finish it quickly by 9:30. Again, I'm sorry guys, run over time again. So tuple. I don't think I remember. I don't think I remember like talk too much about tuple. I'm gonna go through this very quickly. Next time, when we'll be go through another type of like dictionary, and a dictionary will explain a little bit more about tuple in case you guys are confused. So if you guys don't get it right now, don't worry about it. Okay, let's do this. So we'll begin creating an empty tuple. So a tuple one is the empty. So I think Grandma was asking what is like how do you difference between the square bracket and the bracket, right? And the curly bracket. So we can do tuple one. Let's do this tuple one, and then put. Oh, my apologies. So you can do. Sorry, I confused something here. So tuple one still use the square bracket. Sorry guys. So tuple one still use the square bracket. So like this. And if you want to see what is the type of it, type. And we'll show you tuple. So tuple, sorry. So square bracket list, just regular round bracket, tuple, and then curly bracket. We'll explain a little bit later. Okay, and then we will create a tuple with a use of string, and then like we did with the list earlier. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do tuple one. So this time instead of string, you will do women. Let's do women who co again. Like women who, right? Co. You can put co there. So this time we will use tuple, and we will use women. They will use like this. We'll input the value, and then if you type the tuple, if you type tuple one, and it will show you the tuple. And then next, we'll go back to a list this time. Okay, so let's do, okay, we're creating a list, list one, and we will have a number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna do, so what we're gonna, oh, so sorry, we're creating a list first, and then we'll make it as a tuple. So first, what we're gonna do is first thing first, make a list, step by step, baby step. String 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. This is a list. And then you do, how to make it a tuple is doing this. So let's see this. So if you want to print type of list, one. So without this is a list. And you want it as a tuple, and you transform as the list one. Oops, my bad. Okay, type list one. Let me see, sorry. Tuple list one. Okay. 6. Sorry guys, I'm gonna got help here. Rishika, would you mind explain a little bit about this one? Rishika?
Yeah, just sorry, just give me a second.
Sorry.
Let's see. So this is, can you scroll up a bit just so I make sure I'm at the right cell as you? Okay, so can you just scroll up a bit in the notebook? Okay. Yeah, so here for declaring this list 1, so what we do is that we have the list 1 values as 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. And then all we have to do is just print out, inside the print statement, we put tuple and then parenthesis list 1 and then another parenthesis. So does that make any sense? Were you able to?
So when I type list 1, I turn into a tuple already, but then it still show up as a list.
Yeah, so if you just, so if you put in print, I just put it into the chat to you. So if you put print parenthesis and then tuple and another parenthesis list 1. Yeah, and then take out the type in front of list 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and there should be the right number of parentheses. Yeah, and so that should then print out the list 1, and then now you can print out the type of list 1, and that should print out tuple if everything is good.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry guys, let's learn together. Okay, so the reason why I got confused, I saw some of you already type it, got it already, at least got it already, because I thought it basically because Tuple or like the Python, like the coding environment ignore me the list 1, like ignore this transformation. So that's why it doesn't show it as a list. So but when you force it out to type to put it here, to put it on the print, and it has to do the function. It has to transform list 1, the list, to a tuple, list 1 to tuple. Sorry guys, hope you guys learn it with me. I'm pretty sure you guys got it before me. Good job guys. Okay, so now we're gonna create a tuple using a built-in function, and then we're gonna be called tuple 1, and we'll contain value women who code. So let's do this. So tuple 1 equals to, we call it tuple women who code. And then if you print this, you can tell the difference when it's like this. So tuple in a way is basically is also digesting. It's also like kind of separate everything like into a single element. So tuple, that's the use of function of tuple. So to separate, so for example, with type 1 type of string, it will show up women in code because they kind of dissect the value. So let's try something here. So if we do this, and it will just show up women who code as a whole, because we kind of like shelter it as we trying to hold the string, shelter the women who code in the list. But if you just type tuple, it basically digests everything. So it's a sort of a similar concept with the nested function. So if you guys wanna like if you guys not too familiar, still a little bit confused with the nested, so nested list. So it's the same thing. So basically, without the shelter, without the square bracket, it will like the tuple analyze and and output it as like each single element from the string. And then we will do, and then lastly we will create a tuple with the nested tuples. We will start with the tuple 1 containing four integers, and then we'll do tuple 2 containing some string, which is the Python and women, and then we will put tuple 3 together. Okay, so first, let's create a tuple. You want to make sure, and then we can get to this tuple 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and you will do tuple 2, tuple Python women. Right? Everything got this so far. Everything's good. And that. Oh, sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm confusing you guys here. Sorry. Okay, so so when you make a list of tuples, sorry, I got confused of something else. So when you want to just make a tuple, just simply use a bracket. I'll just use a regular bracket to represent the actual to represent the tuple itself, and then like in this case, like tuple 1 equals to bracket 0, 1 to 3 with commas in between, and tuple 2 is like 2 string Python and women with commas in between with a bracket.
Karen?
So yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but we only have like a little under 4 minutes until the end of the session. So I just wanted to make sure we have enough time to go back to the presentation and go over like the social media information and upcoming events. So I know there's still like a few more parts left of the collab notebook, but maybe we could switch back to the presentation.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Like I think we'll do the tuple.
Yeah, we can definitely
with the next section. If you guys missing it, because I know some of you already need to leave already. I apologize again. We'll do the tuple next time. And,
good idea.
And then we'll let everyone off. After the presentation, don't leave yet. So we'll continue to tuple next time. So save it. Save your work on your Google Drive and know how to find it. So we're gonna finish it. So wrap up. So today, so I'm gonna do very quickly. Today we go to two data types, numeric and sequence. We do about integer string and a list, and then we will do some tuple next time. So so if you want to join in our section, feel free to join in on our October 7 section. After also in Women in Code Python, we also have other awesome events such as NLP, natural language processing. We have the study group, and then we also have the open source contribution as well. So feel free to join us, and remember to connect us on social media if you love us. If you love us, and like if you want to join, if you want to stay tuned, like definitely do that and contact us on Slack on about us. And then so if you have any questions, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do Q&A right now because I will let everyone off. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Slack. Always. So, and then we will see you next time. Sorry guys. Bye everyone. Thank you for joining us today.